Okay. It's been a while, I'm afraid, but
Of course.
it's due to outside circumstances mostly. Last I remember, we were meant to head off to find potions for Jadarath.
I wouldn't dream of
I've had
refusing.
very little success in doing so, in terms of finding out where such potions are, but apparently Rybald has one of them, if we can get him to show us his high-class stock. So I'm going to try and do that, get the reward for that potion, but for the others, yeah, I'm mainly concerned with actually doing the play. There's not many side quests really, or any at all, that I feel are really necessary to do for the Beige Balladeer. And so it'll probably be straight on from the play to the main plot. And that means resting a lot of taverns repeatedly, as well as stocking up on healing potions and
Oh,
the like.
yes.
Let's get over to Rybald's before we start thinking about the future. Hopefully the speech bug will not impair us too much in talking to him. Really have to assess my installation order at some point. That's what causes all this. So the order you install the mods in, I followed it, but this time it doesn't seem to have panned out. So I'm planning between this and trying to purge my computer of Baldur's Gate 2, put the save files onto a separate hard drive,
Just
and
as I thought.
try to get it all working before starting playing again. Cannot save the game in dialogue mode. We weren't in dialogue mode.
Rybald Bardaman at your
Okay,
service.
we've got the bug here. So I'm going to do a quick cut and see if we can't get him to talk about his stock.
Peddlers, artisans, or hellspawn,
There we
I
go.
care nae a blot. All that matters is the deal, and Rybald's here to make one with you.
Great, so we get to peruse his selection, and this is what we want, the potion of magic blocking. Unfortunately it won't pay itself off for what Jadarath will give us in return, but we can also make to sell some of these darts perhaps. Kind of cold, I'm never going to learn that. It is useful, but I won't. Greater Malison I will. Let's also clean out our scroll case, see if there's anything that we really don't particularly want. Disintegrate, I don't think. Trouble is that destroys the target's items as well, and anything that doesn't have items, which you might think of using it on, can usually save against it. So yeah, minus spell deflection as well. Not really going to use that. I don't really like to get into wizard duels. Can't think of any time we need to be protected from electricity particularly, that we won't be able to obtain a scroll like this beforehand, so yeah. Friends doesn't seem to have any effect anymore, so I'm going to get rid of those. Haste might still be useful in a pinch, so I'll hold on to it. Potion of fire resistance. Yeah, that might be useful. We need to hurl fireballs in anywhere. And dexterity to 18. Well, we never really use anything like that, to be quite honest. So need the potions of genius for various things, learning spells mostly. Dexterity and intelligence could be useful. We really need a top up, so I won't dispense with that. What does spell shield do exactly? Yeah, that sounds useful. We're going up against a powerful mage, so I think I'll hold on to it. Bastard sword, good for dual wielding. Right, nothing ready to sell there. And potion of absorption. It's nice against crushing attacks, but not much else. Potion of ice dust. Protects all within an area from fire damage for 1 round. Again, a bit specialised. And it probably protects enemies as well. So no. Okay. Yeah. Let's get rid of the web, I think. Enchanted weapon. That could be useful for Korgan, but we can get Azeraj, so... And since he doesn't seem set on leaving the party despite our high reputation, or our high virtue, I shouldn't worry about that. Okay. Our brilliance, critical hits and fire resistance. Does a fireball, prismatic spell and sun ray. Why not? We got spare cash. Might as well get some decent helmet. We're getting about 2/3 of list price now, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that looks good.
Onward
Now let's leave for the Copper Coronet, where we can get Korgan a decent axe.
to the task at hand.
Yes, to the slums we go.
I have nothing you wish.
Bowman Gergas. Do not talk to him if you have elves in your party, because it leads to an innocent man's death, or innocent man filled with hate, still. Especially dark elves.
Jacques trust is for the foolish and the dead.
Yeah, keep walking, Lyconia, keep walking.
Something you need.
As you will. Of course.
Right, to the Copper Coronet and Bernard. See what he has for us. Apart from Azeraj, of course.
I wouldn't dream of refusing.
He's wandered over here.
I got some cheap beer for you.
Okay, let's have a look. Apart from all the stuff over here, some potions. Nothing that Jadareth wants, unfortunately. Mauler's arm +2. Joke the Mauler was a proud chieftain of a northern tribe, but feared he would be the last of his family to lead. His son Cullen was sickly, and clearly couldn't meet the traditional requirement of strength for a chieftain. Georg knew that wise leadership took more than brawn, however, so he conspired to enchant this mace such that it could cover Cullen's weakness. Who Georg made the deal with is unknown, but the cost was apparently high. Cullen came to rule soon after. Increased the Wilder Strum to 18. That might be handy in Viconia's hands. Sleeper +2, Morningstar. Belonged to Sitalk, an uncharacteristically evil elf known as the Slayer of the Sword Coast, or even the Slaver of the Sword Coast. Until his sudden death several years ago, Sitalk, is that an anagram of Clatis? No. Commanded a large force of human, dwarf and gnomish brigands, using the Sleeper to keep them in line. The weapon has a chance to incapacitate any human, dwarf, gnome or halfling by inducing deep slumber, though elves are conveniently immune. Okay. I think get the Mauler's arm for Viconia. And Slinger Seeking. So we got Azeraj or Stonefire. Let's decide which we want for Korgan. He can't use Azeraj because not usable by any neutral evil character, but Battle Axe +3 Stonefire. Azeraj does damage versus undead, but Battle Axe of Stonefire. The Stonefires were an old lineage of dwarves, and the eldest male of the line carried this axe, an heirloom of utmost importance. Unfortunately, the Stonefires were decimated in 1150 DR, falling in a mere 2 years to mysterious plague. Olgan, keeper of the axe, fled in the hopes of escaping the inevitable, but he died several weeks later. His body was found in the Cloakwood Forest, but the axe was missing. It just tells us nothing more, apart from the fact it does +2 fire damage. So not as fancy as Azarudge in terms of anti-undead abilities. But still good. So I'll get that for him. Anything particularly we want here? Already got pretty much everyone equipped with what we need them to have. What's currently obtainable. Sword of Flame's pretty useful. Okay. Any spells? Not really. Okay, that should do. So let's get our friends equipped with these. Wow, are you still using a mace? Wow, that's old. That's more like it, Viconia. You now have 18 strength, which means you can become a pack mule. To some degree, not to the same degree as Minsk, or indeed Korgan, but still.
Ready and
Very useful.
Whatever I can do to help.
Now, imagine the beige Baldur is feeling a bit bored at this point, you know, no news of this playhouse, or anything of that like. So, he's going to find a nice private room over here, where hopefully people are sleeping. Yeah, just Zaviria sleeping. And he's going to play with something
Yes?
he got a long time ago but hasn't had a chance to whip out. That being, of course, whoever's holding it right now should probably hand it over. Scroll of Limited Wish. So, you know, what would go wrong if he was to just cast it?
Just name what you want.
Ah, Genie, talk to us. Finally. I am the channel for which your wish shall be fulfilled. You may ask for a wish I can repeat, or you may ask for a wish that will happen only once. Decide. One-time wish. Choose wisely then, as I conform each of these tasks once and once only. Yeah, of course you can imagine most of these have a chance of backfiring. Higher wisdom means you get better worded wishes. I wish for an adventure like none I've ever experienced before. Soon you will have your quest, my master. You cast a spell for a moment, nothing happens. Something bumps your foot and you look down, surprised to find a corked glass bottle with a note inside. You uncork the bottle and take the note.